In what can only be described as an unprecedented political earthquake, Prime Minister Keir Starmer faced the most turbulent 24 hours of his premiership yesterday as a series of explosive allegations emerged from multiple sources within Westminster. The fallout has sent shockwaves through the political establishment, leaving party loyalists scrambling to control the narrative. The drama began during what should have been a routine policy announcement at Chequers when CCTV footage, allegedly obtained by an anonymous whistleblower, began circulating among parliamentary reporters. The footage, which this publication has viewed but cannot independently verify, appears to show the Prime Minister engage in a heated exchange with senior staff members before making several phone calls in visible distress. He knew it was coming, revealed a senior civil servant who requested anonymity. You could see it in his eyes during PMQs earlier that day. Something was off. He kept glancing at his phone between questions, especially when Angela Rayner was speaking. Rayner, whose working-class credentials have long been at odds with accusations of champagne socialism, appeared uncharacteristically subdued during the session. Known for her fiery exchanges and quick comebacks, the deputy leader remained stone-faced throughout, even as opposition benches jeered references to her recent policy U-turns. She's playing the loyal soldier, sneered one conservative backbencher. But everyone knows she's positioning herself. This is her moment, and she's calculating every move. The real bombshell dropped during the evening reception for creative industry leaders, where comedian Jimmy Carr was among the invited guests. According to multiple attendees, Carr made what appeared to be an impromptu joke referencing secret Downing Street recordings that caused an immediate hush to fall over the gathering. It wasn't just that he made the joke, explained one guest who works in television production. It was the Prime Minister's reaction. His face went completely white. Then Victoria, Starmer's wife, put down her glass and walked straight off the stage. No goodbye, nothing. The silence was deafening. Within minutes, reporters were receiving messages about an alleged relationship between the Prime Minister and wealthy Labour donor Lord Ali, a longtime supporter who has contributed millions to party coffers. While no evidence has emerged supporting these claims, the timing of Lord Ali's sudden departure from London to his home in Monaco raised eyebrows among Westminster insiders. This is classic misdirection, insisted a Labour spokesperson when contacted. The Prime Minister is focused on delivering for the British people during challenging economic times. These baseless rumors are nothing more than an attempt to distract from the government's work on the cost of living crisis. Yet the crisis management appeared increasingly desperate as the night wore on. 3 scheduled morning media appearances were abruptly cancelled, and staff were seen entering and leaving Downing Street at unusual hours. Most tellingly, the Prime Minister's press secretary declined to issue specific denials when questioned about the CCTV footage and alleged relationship. "We don't comment on security matters or the Prime Minister's personal life," was a terse response. Rayner's team, meanwhile, maintained a strategic silence throughout the evening, releasing only a brief statement expressing full confidence in the Prime Minister's leadership. The carefully worded message notably avoided any personal endorsement or denial of the swirling allegations. "She's playing it brilliantly," admitted one frustrated conservative strategist. While we're all waiting for her typical bull in a china shop response, she suddenly discovered subtlety. It's unnerving. By midnight, the hashtag CCTV scandal was trending nationwide, with social media users dissecting every facial expression and gesture from recent public appearances. Amateur lip readers offered conflicting interpretations of the leaked footage, while political commentators debated the constitutional implications should further evidence emerge. "This isn't about private behavior," insisted constitutional expert Professor Harriet Chambers. The security implications of secretly recorded footage from within secure government buildings raise serious questions about who had access and why. That's the real scandal here. For the Prime Minister's inner circle, however, the timing couldn't be worse. With crucial local elections just weeks away and poll numbers already showing vulnerability in key regions, party strategists were banking on Starmer's image as a steady, drama-free alternative to previous administrations. "The whole boring but competent persona was working for us," lamented one Labour advisor. "Now we're suddenly in soap opera territory, and that's never good for governing parties." As dawn broke over Westminster, The narrative took another twist when several tabloids published grainy images allegedly showing Lord Ollie boarding a private jet at a small airfield outside London. Whether coincidental or connected to the unfolding crisis remains unclear, but the optics proved devastating for a government already struggling to maintain its composure. It's the combination that's so potent, explained political communications expert Dr. Martin Reeves. CCTV footage suggesting impropriety, a wealthy donor making a hasty exit, a comedian seemingly knowing more than he should, and the Prime Minister's wife leaving an event abruptly. Individually, each element can be explained away, but together they create a perfect storm of suspicion. By mid-morning, Rayner had emerged as the focus of intense speculation. As the most senior woman in the cabinet and Starmer's theoretical second-in-command, her response to the crisis would be crucial in determining its trajectory. Yet instead of the passionate defense many expected, Rayner delivered what observers described as a masterclass in political ambiguity during a previously scheduled factory visit in her constituency. "The Prime Minister has my support," she stated flatly when questioned by reporters. "I'm focused on delivering for working people, not Westminster gossip." When pressed specifically about the CCTV allegations, she responded with a dismissive wave. "I've got real problems to solve for real people." Next question. The performance drew immediate comparisons to her parliamentary persona, which has often been characterized by unfiltered emotional responses and colorful language. This new, calculated Rayner unsettled even her critics. "She's learned from the best," observed a former Labour communications director. "This is straight from the Alastair Campbell playbook. Don't repeat the allegations. Don't engage with the premise. Redirect to your own messaging. Someone's been coaching her, and they're good." Behind closed doors, however, sources claim Rayner was anything but restrained. During an emergency meeting of senior cabinet members, she reportedly demanded complete transparency from the Prime Minister, insisting that any information likely to emerge should be disclosed immediately rather than drip-fed through media leaks. She basically told him to rip the plaster off, according to one attendee. She said, "Either come clean about everything now or watch the whole government implode day by day." As pressure mounted throughout the day, attention turned to the source of the alleged CCTV footage. Security experts questioned how surveillance material from one of the most closely monitored buildings in Britain could have been accessed and distributed without triggering immediate alarms. "This isn't some local council office with outdated systems," explained former security coordinator Malcolm Jenkins. "Downing Street security protocols are state-of-the-art. For footage to leak suggests either catastrophic system failure or, more worryingly, deliberate internal sabotage." The security breach theory gained traction when Home Office officials were seen entering Downing Street for an unscheduled meeting, followed shortly by representatives from intelligence services. No statements were issued following these meetings, but insiders described the atmosphere as grave. Meanwhile, comedian Jimmy Carr addressed a growing controversy with characteristic dark humor, posting on social media, "Apparently I brought down a government with a joke, and they say political comedy is dead." The post was later deleted, but not before being shared hundreds of thousands of times. As evening approached, the Prime Minister's office finally announced he would address the nation in a televised statement, breaking the increasingly untenable silence that had fueled speculation throughout the day. Political analysts immediately began gaming potential scenarios, from full denial to partial admission to resignation. Markets reacted nervously, with the pound dropping slightly against major currencies as uncertainty loomed. "The real question isn't about the specific allegations," noted veteran political journalist Claudia Richards. "It's whether Starmer can reassert control over the narrative. Once a politician loses that power, recovery becomes nearly impossible, regardless of facts." In Westminster's corridors, MPs from all parties huddled in anxious groups, aware that political fortunes could shift dramatically depending on the evening's developments. For opposition parties, the chaos presented an unexpected opportunity, but one requiring careful navigation. "It's tempting to go for the jugular," admitted one opposition strategist. But voters can quickly turn against perceived opportunism during national crises. The R is appearing statesmanlike while subtly twisting the knife. For Labour MPs, particularly those in marginal seats, the calculation was even more complex. Standing too firmly by a potentially compromised leader risked their own credibility, while distancing themselves prematurely could appear disloyal if allegations proved unfounded. We're in impossible territory, confessed one backbencher. Every statement, every social media post, every interview could age terribly within hours. Most of us are just trying to say nothing substantive while looking appropriately concerned. As the nation awaited the Prime Minister's address, the final twist came from an unexpected quarter. Keir Starmer, who had maintained absolute privacy throughout her husband's political career, was spotted entering Downing Street accompanied by the government's most senior legal advisor. Her presence, at once a show of solidarity and a signal of serious legal consultation, left Westminster watchers parsing every possible meaning. Was this preparation for defense or resignation? Personal support or professional intervention? In my 30 years covering politics, I've never seen a day like this, remarked one broadcast journalist preparing for the evening's coverage. We have CCTV footage no one can fully explain, a comedian somehow involved in a security breach, a wealthy donor on a private jet, a deputy leader playing 4D chess, and the Prime Minister's wife suddenly taking center stage. Whatever happens next will redefine British political crisis management for a generation. As cameras prepare to broadcast the Prime Minister's statement to millions of anxious viewers, the only certainty was that British politics had entered uncharted territory. The next few minutes would determine not just Starmer's fate, but potentially reshape power dynamics within Westminster for years to come. The nation held its breath, waiting.